Alright, so in this lesson we are going to take a look at line plots. And we just got done talking about number lines and how we can use number lines to visualize numbers, help us to organize them, help us to figure out patterns, and so on. Well, we can also use number lines to create what we call a line plot. And that's basically using a number line to organize data. And data is just bits of information that we have. And it's just a nice, neat way to organize that data and to make it look neat and to help us answer questions if we need to. So take a look at this information right here. Sorry about that. But take a look at this information right here. We have some data in this table, and what it is we are looking at the number of apples that are in a basket. On this one side of the chart over here, on this side, we have how many apples are in the basket, and then on this side over here, we have how many baskets that we have with those apples in it. So for instance, for 5 apples in a basket, we have 6 baskets that contain the 5 apples in each basket. We have right here 7 apples in a basket, and we have 3 of those baskets that contain 7 apples. We keep moving down the line. We have 8 apples in a basket, and we have 4 baskets that have 8 apples. Then we have 10 apples in a basket, and we have 2 baskets that contains 10 apples in each basket. Okay? So this tells us how many apples are in a basket on this side. This tells us on this side how many baskets we have of those different size baskets. And what we can do with this data is we can create a line plot. And that line plot would look something like this below. As you can see, it's a number line. Okay. This number line starts at 5 and ends at 10. Remember, number lines can start at any number you want. The reason this number line starts at 5 is because in our chart up here, 5 is the smallest number. And these numbers below represent how many apples are in a basket. Then next we have these X's. And these X's are how many baskets we have of that size. So for instance, we have 5 apples in a basket, and we know from the chart up here we have 6 of those baskets. And so we have 6 X's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you move on to the next number of apples in a basket, we have 7 apples in a basket. We have 3 of those baskets. So here's our 7 apples, and here's our 3 X's representing the 3 baskets of apples. Then we keep moving down. Here's our 8 apples in a basket. We have 4 baskets that contain 8 apples. Here's our 8 apples, and here's our X's representing those 4 baskets. And then finally we have our 10 apples in a basket, and we have 2 baskets that contain 10 apples in each basket, and there's our 2 X's. Notice how 9 and 6 are still on here, but they are left blank because we have no baskets that contain 6 apples. We have no baskets that contain 9 apples. So they're left blank on this chart below. So now I'll show you guys, that's kind of how to read them. Now I'll show you how to create one. Let's erase this again. Alright, so here's another bit of information that we're going to look at. This is, since Mr. G loves shooting his bow, let's pretend that I went and was organizing all the different arrows I have for my bow. I have 25-inch arrows, 27-inch arrows, 28-inch arrows, and 29-inch arrows. And in this column over here, it tells me how many of each arrow I have. So for instance, 25-inch arrows, I have 6 of them. 27-inch arrows, I have 5 of them. 28-inch arrows, I have 7 of them. And then 29-inch arrows, I have 12 of them. And I can do exactly what I did on the previous page, is I can make a line plot to help graph this and help organize this information. And I do that by starting off by labeling my number line. And I'm going to start off with my smallest number, which is 25. That's going to be the beginning of this number line, because I don't need to go any smaller than that, because I don't have any arrows that are smaller than 25 inches. So I go 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and technically I can stop right there at 29 because 29 is my biggest number. I don't have any more arrows that are bigger than 29 inches. But I'm just going to make this, since there's one more line here, I'm just going to make it look neater by adding 30 inches to it. And then I simply take my X's and I move them to the proper place. So for instance, I look at 25 and it says there are 6. I have 6 arrows. So each of these X's represents an arrow. So I drag my X's down and I put 6 arrows above 25 to represent that I have 6 arrows that are 25 inches. Then I move down the line. I look at my next number, which is 26, which represents 26-inch arrows. I don't have any up here. If you look at the chart up here, I don't have any. The next number is 27, so I leave 26 blank. And 27 says that I have 5. So I need to take my X's, and I need to put 5 X's to represent that I have 5 arrows that are 27 inches long. Then I move down to 28 inches. It says that I have 7 of those. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. I'm going to go ahead and copy these. Let's clone them. So there's 5, and then 6, and 7. And then my 29-inch arrows is 12. I'm going to do a little bit cheating again. I'm going to go ahead and copy these, paste them, drag them over. I'm going to have to stack them, I think, side by side. Then I'm going to clone them. There we go. That's going to represent my 12, because 6 plus 6 equals 12. Alright, and then again, 30 is left blank. I don't have any 30-inch arrows, so that is left blank. So you can see and visualize the different arrows I have. 6 that are 25 inches. I have 5 that are 27 inches. I have 7 that are 28 inches. And the big number, 12 that are 29 inches. And again, I can use line plots to help me answer all different types of questions. It might say something like, how many more arrows does Mr. G have that are 29 inches than he has that are 27 inches? And I would use this data. I would look at 29 inches, it's 12, so I take 12. I can subtract the 27-inch arrows, which is 5. Okay, and that leaves me with 7. So I have 7 more arrows that are 29 inches in length than I have that are 27 inches in length. This is just a good way to help organize and read data. And you'll be seeing these different line plots throughout the whole entire year, even when we get into fractions and things like that. So go ahead, look at our practice site, practice, and get ready for tomorrow.